Obviously, that BMF belt going to be trying to defend that for the first time on Saturday. But this fight, I think, just between you and Dustin, kind of BMF's defined. So as we sit here on fight week, just what are you feeling towards this matchup?
I feel excited, man. Not many guys get to go out there and defend and fight a trilogy that they had two losses in already. So it's my second try. Trying not to go 0-6 here. So I'm excited.
You had the face off with Max yesterday, iconic location. I guess seeing him now after some years and sizing him up for the first time. Any takeaways from that?
That boy's big, man. Uh, nah, it was just cool feeling, cool moment to do it in a place that me and my family had such great memories. Amazing that it's here in New Orleans and in front of that church. It's just an incredible way to end this thing.
You had the first face-off of Fight Week with him yesterday. He said he was surprised how big you were a little bit. What was your takeaways from the stare down?
I mean, we just locked in, bro. He's a fighter. This guy's a dog, and you can see it in his face. I mean, if you guys wanted a reason to tune in and buy the pay-per-view, send that face off to your friends because that's what it was, man. That was a great stare off. We both locked in and we're both ready. We know what's at stake. He got his last. This is his last dance, and I'm here to play spoiler.
What's the vibes you've been getting from here so far? I mean, technically enemy territory, but you're so loved. Are you feeling? What's it like with the people? How are they?
People have been so nice, man. People are so great here. The food is amazing here, and just general, people are just loving it. At the end of the day, when we go out there, we do the walks. I was just doing an interview and I was telling DC, I hope my ass get booed. You know what I mean? This is his last dance. He's representing your home state. Boo my ass. Because if we was in Hawaii, I'm pretty sure Hawaiians would be booing whoever I'm walking against.
Is the plan for Saturday with the walkout and Wayne and everything? Is that all finalized? And can you give us some hints of what it might look like?
It'll be a little bit of James Brown, a little bit of Wayne. Yeah, Wayne's walking out with me.
So you're sticking with the James round team.
I mean, I have to. Come on, I have to. I paid the cost to be the boss, so I can't. On my last one, I can't switch it up. I can't go that far away from it. I need to hear that. I need to feel that vibe before I fight somebody.
Yeah, and last training camp, I know you had said at the start you want to do everything right, like cut out even the little bit of drinking, all that stuff. Now that you're sitting here and all the work is behind you, do you feel like this was what it needed to be for the final fight?
Yeah, I did. Not that I didn't check all those boxes in every other training camp. I just really, really focus. I'm 90-something days completely sober, no alcohol, no marijuana. I don't like the diet fad talk, but I've carnivore. Like I hate tossing around keto, carnivore, stuff like that. But for probably 4 months, 5 months, I've been eating just, I guess, kind of like a carnivore, just meat and berries. Little vegetables here and there, and dude, I'm in the best shape. This is the lightest I've ever shown up to fight week. Incredible. So yeah, I did everything right.
Are you kind of embracing that side of things? Like, some of your interviews, they're like, it seems like you have a little more edge than usual leading into this fight.
I mean, it is what it is. I guess I want to play spoiler. That's what I do. It sucks. It sucks it's him, but like I said, man, I was 4-0 when I fought this man. First time, I was 13 on a 13-fight win streak. Second time, he did me dirty. So I guess I got to do him dirty in his retirement fight.
Yeah, there you go. I think you said in one of your video blogs, like last week when you first got here, that you were 155 already when you were eating the food and stuff. Was that a bit of a joke, or like, what's the weight like now?
No one's ever on the weight that one, that far out. And if you are, then you're in the wrong weight class, buddy.
Yeah. And then just in terms of the fight itself, like I know you'd love to go in there and do something spectacular. What are you expecting out of Max? You said he looked pretty big when you saw him yesterday. So a lot of questions around his durability too, after being knocked out for the first time. What's this fight going to look like in your mind?
Yeah, with the durability talk, it's tough to say. A lot of things play into that. Genetics, lifestyle, all kinds of stuff. We'll find out Saturday night if that shot really affected him. That's my goal, is to find out. But I'm expecting another war. I've been saying this every interview when I asked about this trilogy with Max. This is a trilogy spanning 13 years, and we've met at different points. We were different fighters, different men. So each fight has been so different. Even looking back to the last fight with him, there's little takeaways, but I think this is a whole different thing. So it's exciting, man. And Max is a legend, Hall of Famer. done incredible things in his career and going to continue to do so. So, and a good person. So fighting him for the last one, it seems poetic. Me being his debut in the UFC, him being my last fight. Everything's happening at the right time.
Max, you've always been really good-natured about the second loss to Dustin, but was that one that you've always wanted to get back, right? Because it was a very close fight, and you were coming in on short notice and didn't have the time to bulk up. So was there something about that loss that particularly pissed you off?
I mean, I'm not pissed. It is what it is. You know, I signed up for the fight. You know, even if it was short notice, I took the fight thinking that I was gonna go out there and get my hand raised. You know, so you know, I'm not taking nothing away from him, but it was a very you know, a competitive fight. You know, a lot of people, just because I had that one cut in the fourth round, I think I got the knee to the head, to the face in that cut. They thought it was a very different fight, but it's a super competitive fight, and it is what it is. You know, I can't wait to go out there and show people Saturday night what we've been working on.
Dustin, we see fighters talk about retirement and saying like, oh, they don't have stuff to fill their days and they miss it. But you're going out on your own terms and picking when you're choosing to retire, right? The sport's not retiring you, as you said.
Exactly.
So, but on Sunday morning, do you think you'll be happy to be retired?
I don't know. I got to go through it before I talk about it. There will be some. I think for sure I can say there'll be some relief of that weight on my back of fighting since I was a kid. You know, always thinking about training, always thinking about my physical condition, what my opponents might be doing, what techniques are new. Just not having that constant. I won't even call it a burden. That constant cloud in my head thinking about combat sports. I'm still going to train. I'm still going to stay fit, but I don't have to compete at the highest level. I don't have that hanging over me anymore. And it might be good. It might be bad. Maybe I need that hanging over me. I don't know. I got to find out.
It's happened a couple of times to you now in your career, so I'm sure you're used to it. But you know, when you had the Volk fights, it felt like, oh, Max's time's gone, and then suddenly you're fighting Poirier again because you got your way back up there. And then I feel like in Abu Dhabi, you even said this is not a funeral after the fight. I felt a bit like, oh, he's lost to Poirier, his time's over again. But realistically, one win over Dustin Poirier, you're right back in the title picture again. Do you believe you can force that Ilya rematch to happen?
For sure, 100%. You know, it's all about moments. You know, if I go out there have a 300 moment, bro, I'm right there for a title shot. And if it's not for a title shot, then I'm right there for a number one contender shot. You know, whoever it may be. I mean, I see first things first is always Dustin, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, I see the media, I see people talking, I see people chirping, and Charles saying too, you know, I like I said, I was the happiest guy in the world, bro, when I saw Charles and Topuria fighting. I got history of both of them, and they're fighting, you know, a couple weeks before us. I was like, man, this is, you want a statement win, you got to go make a statement win, and you want to fight, you make it happen. I mean, look at the whole thing with Patty and Ilya, you know, like, it's the talk of town right now, and that was just a freaking curveball from left field. So at the end of the day, we're in the entertainment business. You know, you go out there, you get a moment. Who's to say that I'm not the next one? If not, one more.
Coming to the last minute of the fight, you've been through a war, last 10 seconds, Max points to the ground. You have to jump the guillotine, right? You have to jump the ghillie right away.
Of course, bro. That's my plan, is to point down. As soon as we start swinging for the fences, double leg, let's grapple.
Is that part of the not necessarily strategy, you got to win the fight, right? But do you have it in your mind that, like, I want to make this thing cool? You know, I got to get cool stuff going.
Yeah, and especially with a guy like Dustin, you know what I mean? You know, like I said, you know, everybody keeps saying, you know, if you guys get to the last round and you get to the point where you can do the point down in the last 10 seconds, are you going to give it to Dustin? And I was like, man, Dustin might beat me to it. You know what I mean? So he might point down before me. So that's just the kind of guy it is. And you look at all of Poirier's fights, you look at my fights, and, you know, go show me one boring fight, you know. Me and him are cut from the same cloth. We're your favorite fighter, you know, that would be the saying. So if you're trying to get somebody to watching mixed martial arts, tune in Saturday night.
Yeah. For what it's worth, he said that if you point down at the ground, he's going to go for a takedown and try and guillotine you.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. I heard that. I ain't believing that one bit. He might act like it and then try and do an overhand left or something.
Max, any chance you win this fight by guillotine? You have more than he does.
I mean, I have two of them. I have 2 guillotines on my record, so, you know, but if the opportunity presents itself to say that you jump the ghillie and jump the ghillie man, it would be pretty cool.
Devin Johnson here. I wanted to ask you, as you return for your last fight, you return home, you're on the precipice of completing a trilogy against a fellow Hall of Famer. You also can go out as the baddest man How ceremonial would this victory be for you?
It will be huge. It will be a dream come true. You know, my last fight, lay the gloves down in Louisiana. My debut in the UFC, I walked out to a Lil Wayne song. My final fight in the UFC, I'm walking out with Lil Wayne. I provided a beautiful life for my family, chasing this dream. I've learned a lot about myself. I've built businesses. I've built relationships with people that are going to be part of my life forever. Going out with that belt in Louisiana, not getting on a flight Sunday morning, driving home in a state where I live and reside, a state where I was raised and reside is a storybook, a storybook ending. So if I can get my hand raised Saturday night, walk out of there with that BMF belt, I'm the baddest motherfucker forever, man.
Max, overall, are you expecting a hostile crowd inside Smoothie King Center? And additionally, does that add fuel to your fire?
For sure. I hope so. Like I said, man, I hope so. If the shoe's on the other foot, we're in Hawaii right now, bro. Hawaiians would be booing whoever's ass, booing his ass to the stuff, even though he's so liked. And even if I'm liked, I hope so. You got to send this guy off, farewell, do it right.
Has the reality really set in that this is actually going to be taking place in New Orleans, and it's the perfect setup for you to not only go out on a high note, but as well as have all of your friends, family, and team along your side?
Yeah, I kind of think about it here and there. Last night, laying in bed before I go to sleep, that was my first night checking into my Airbnb here in New Orleans and doing the paperwork. I'm like, wow, it's really happening. This is really, really happening. But I think, like I said, I think it's just the right time. I don't want to get retired from the sport. I don't want this sport to chew me up, and I want to walk away. I don't want it to retire me.
Thank you, Dustin.
Dustin, do you think the fact that it being your final one and also the fact that it's here, do you think that adds an extra kind of sentimental component to the weekend?
100%, no question about it. Just being here in the vibe of New Orleans and knowing that it's my last fight, knowing that I have a great, worthy opponent standing across from me who's going to bring the fight, it feels special. It feels special to me.